Shiva Rahasya Talk 6. He left you with the last verse, 42nd verse in the last talk. I, the one Lord, through my play of darkness and light, bring forth everything in sight. All created things are but sparks of my divine light. A part of me, of my infinite self, lies hidden in all things. Now we proceed to the next two verses, and then we will cover the third verse also. Verse number 43 and 44. Therefore, know that all things to have an unseen inner core, an essence and a soul that is the true nature and the life of everything. That imperishable core, being part of my eternal self, has been called the self or the Atman. That very self is the Lord of the life. Next verse 44. The self is the true man concealed within the body of blood, flesh and bones. And it is by nature divine. It is absolute, pure, peaceful, subtle, and eternal. It exists beyond the darkness of ignorance and beyond the knowledge that is expressed in words. For the first time, the name for that part of infinite self within each being has been given as it is described in the Upanishads, the Atman. Shiva elaborates on Atman and describes Atman as unseen inner core. That is, through which all are seen, but by itself it cannot be seen. Then essence, tattva, soul. Then true nature of everything. How many births one may take, how much ever births one may take, but ultimately one has to realize that his nature, true nature is self. Then he says imperishable core. Imperishable because it is not born like the body which is born. The creation that has emerged, which will all perish one day. But self is neither born nor will it perish. Then he says, part of my eternal self. Here part means indivisible part, not a part which can be taken out of the whole. Purnamidam. Lord of life. Then absolute. Then pure. Pure means untouched by vasanas. Then peaceful, subtle, eternal, beyond darkness of ignorance. Where there is only light, there cannot be darkness. When Shiva exists, ego cannot exist. Ego or darkness, realm of night, can exist only by superimposing itself on the light, hiding the light. Then he says, beyond knowledge expressed in words. Self is concealed within the body of being. We understood this when we learned self is realized by the pure heart or the intellect within. Now, we can put it in the other way. Here he says, Shiva says, self is concealed within the body of the being. But with all the background of the Vedantic sessions, shall we express this in the other way? Rather than self getting concealed within the body, made of flesh, blood, bones, we can say the body made of flesh, blood, bones has superimposed itself on the self, the screen. Self as such is not concealed within. It is the body mind which is ignoring the all-pervading light or self. This self, indivisible part of the infinite self or screen, exists even when some or many superimpose darkness of ignorance over this self. Just because the cloud has covered the sun, it does not mean sun has vanished or disappeared. In the darkness of ignorance, the sunshine of self is hidden, but it is there. To you he taught, only due to the self within, man thinks and affirms whatever he does, whatever he thinks as correct. DP Pore. Here, Shiva goes a step further and says, not only that the self is beyond the darkness of ignorance, but it is also beyond the knowledge, beyond the intellectual understanding of what self is. When one says, I have known Atman, this very expression, I have known Atman, denies or goes against the nature of Atman as described here or in any Upanishad. It denies the absolute state, transcendental state, when one abides in self. How? In the I have known Atman, the I has to live. For the Atman to exist, the smaller I has to live for the bigger I to exist in silence. The knowledge of self within a sadhaka has to go. For the sadhaka to turn as seer and exist as self. Knowledge that I am the light has to go. Knowledge that I am the light which has manifested as pure awareness has to go. He's talking about the ultimate state. Knowledge that or awareness that I am beyond the light awareness also has to go. All expressions have to go. Just silence. The state of an avadhuta. For you at this stage, your goal has to exist as pure awareness. And it is okay for some time or a long time to experience this pure awareness state. But here Shiva, when he says about this self, Shiva cannot compromise on the state. His statement is beyond the Uttarkashya. So he says, darkness of ignorance has to go. Knowledge of self as a knowledge, as any other knowledge, objective knowledge, has to go. Chinmaya writes on a commentary on a verse in Chinmaya in Viveka Chudamani, objectless awareness, where there is no object. So, when you say I have, so Atman as an object of awareness has to go. Ultimately. That state truly has no expressions. It is the absolute state, day in and day out. Acharya exists at that state. It is absolute state where 100% that state cannot be expressed in words. All Upanishad expressions, all commentaries prostrate and merge in that state. Existing, can we say that state as pure awareness without the awareness of existing as pure awareness? Think. 45th verse. It is the inner being, the soul of the universe, the life principle, the Lord of time, the great Lord, the perfect one. Though being unseen and unknown, yet he knows. For he is present everywhere and witnesses all things from within. He is the eternal witness of all. Ishwaram Sakshibhutam. With these descriptions, Shiva has revealed that the self and Shiva are the same. Self has been described as great Lord. He says, though unseen, unknown, yet he knows. He knows. What does this mean? He, that self, illumines the intellect of each being, senses of each being. faculties of each being. The source with which eyes see, ears hear, mind knows, intellect thinks, Kenopanishad, is that eye of the eye, mind of the mind, ear of the ear, prana of the prana, intellect of the intellect. This is why Shiva says he knows, because as the eye of the eye, ear of the ear, mind of the mind, intellect of the intellect, prana of the prana, the source which is illumining all these faculties, all these senses, that source illumines all your faculty with which you can know anything. So, this source illumining the creation, illumining the BMI, illumining the five koshas, is the eternal witness of the creation, eternal witness of each and every being having a relationless relationship with the creation and the created. Now, imagine a guru who has given all the knowledge. He exists in an Himalayan cave. The disciple has left him, prostrating before his guru. The disciple has gone away after 10 years of being with Guru. Guru is not in the vicinity of disciple, nowhere near the disciple physically. But Guru knows exactly where the disciple is in his spiritual level, in his spiritual journey. Though he may be sitting thousands of kilometers away from the disciples. For this particular thing, you are all the witness how your Guru knows your state without a word spoken. Now, extend this picture and instead of Guru, replace Guru with Brahman self. It is him, his energy, his essence that has given the prana, the body, the mind, the intellect to all beings. Like the Guru has given all the knowledge. Here, he has given the energy, he has illumined everything in all beings. It is his light, he the light, which is illumining everything of a Jiva, Panchakoshas. In case of a Guru, he is sitting in a cave. But when it comes to Brahman, he is all-pervading light in which the Jiva exists. All Jivas exist. As a creator, as an eternal witness, after creating the Jiva mystically. This existence of Brahman is existence as all-pervading and existence as eternal witness. He is present everywhere, every time, in every being as the all-pervading consciousness, the witness of everything that happens in this creation, though not associated with anything which is happening in the creation. All the good beings, all the bad beings, all are illumined by the same self-consciousness. Like the Guru knows his child, his disciple, the mother knows his child, wherever the child is, Brahman, all-pervading consciousness, is like in the which bhajan, that one, Tumho Anata Nata Bhagavan, there Brahman as Mother Shakti, Brahman as Father Prajapati was explained, if you remember. In that aspect, grand aspect, as universe, eternal Father, eternal Mother, he exists as eternal witness of the entire created beings in the world. That is how Shiva says he knows. And he exists as eternal witness. Maybe there are just about 1 or 2 more Shiva Rahasya posts. Hopefully he will complete it before he proceeds on leave. Contemplate. Blessings. Hari Om.